How do ghosts find their way around in the dark? They use echolocation. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, my friends. It's good to see you again. It's been much too long, and I'm glad to be back, but I'm very, very tired. I'm very, very tired. Boo. Hello, Loose and Jelly. Welcome to the stream. Great to see you. So tonight we're going to play some Super Ghouls and Ghosts. We're going to start up attempts at this for about the first hour or so. And just in case you're unfamiliar with what's going on around here, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This is my favorite game. I'm pretty good at it. Not an expert, not great, but pretty good. And I have been trying for a very long time now to beat this game with a deathless run. It's extraordinarily difficult. Extraordinarily difficult. Loose and Jelly, thank you for the resub. Thank you very much. 4 months. 4 months. That's such a long time. Thank you for your continued support. And 4 gathers. Hey, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. So what we're gonna do is I'm trying for a deathless run, and I've gotten very, very close. I've gotten extraordinarily close. I've made it to the end of loop 2 twice. Ooh, but lost it at the end. So I'm going to work very hard on it this week, and we're going to play some Ghosts and Goblins, or some Super Ghouls and Ghosts, as it were. We're going to play some every night this week, and hopefully we're going to get it. Hopefully we're going to get it. So for the first hour or so of every stream, almost every stream this week, we're gonna do Super Ghouls and Ghosts. At about the hour mark is when I'm going to stop starting up attempts. We're going to do a lot of it this week. So tonight, after Super Ghouls and Ghosts, we're going to switch over and we're going to work on our continued playthrough of Donkey Kong Country 2. So that's what's on the table tonight. This game, Donkey Kong Country 2. And I had said I'd put on the schedule maybe Jump King at the end of the stream. That's still a maybe, but it's really unlikely. Alright, and I'm going to be running a timer. There's no one real reason why I run the timer. It's mostly just curiosity. Also, it's helpful for people who join the stream while it's in progress. It kind of gives them an idea of whether or not I'm on loop, whether I'm on loop 1 or 2. They can look at the time. And not have to ask for those people who don't feel like chatting. Derek Ocean, great to see you again, my friend. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna do a little work on Super Ghouls and Ghosts for about an hour and change, something like that. And the second half / majority of the stream will probably be Donkey Kong Country 2. But yeah, sorry it's been so long, my friends. I sort of planned on missing Thursday. That's why I left Thursday as open / potentially cancel on the schedule. I pretty much expected to not be here. Friday Canceling Friday night was a surprise to me. So as you, whoa, no, oh, this is bad. As you may know, I was supposed to get a new cat today. Part of the reason why I'm so extraordinarily tired, and how terrible, how terrible. Part of the reason I'm so extraordinarily tired, and the reason that I missed my Friday stream unexpectedly was because I blame the new cat. All right, let's go ahead and hit reset. We can do much better than that. This is a really bad way to start our deathless attempts. Speedrun. I'm not really concerned. I'm not really concerned with speed. I'm running the timer mostly out of curiosity. I'm more concerned with playing the game well than I am with playing it fast. Because I'm trying to do it without dying. That's why every death means a reset. But the timer, don't worry about the timer. You can still redeem the channel point stuff, interrupt me, chat with me, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna pause to read the chat and those kind of things. I'm not really concerned about the time at all. Darn those cats. All right, so, and what's the cat's name? All right, so I was supposed to get a new cat today. Instead, I got a new cat on Friday. And instead of a new cat, I got 2 new cats. And so that's why I'm so tired. But so what happened was there was a cat I saw online, and it was at a shelter that's pretty far away from me. But within driving distance, and so I went to the shelter. The cat is I have a cat, first of all. I have one cat named Inky. I call him Ticky or Beans usually. He goes by a nickname more often than his real name. He's a black cat, a male. He's about 4 years old. He's fairly friendly. He's a little bit shy of strangers. And he likes to bite sometimes. So that's something to know about him. He communicates with his bite, but he's a really good cat overall. But anyway, I saw a cat online at a shelter that was a little bit of a ways away. It was a 4-year-old female named Twiggy, and I went there on Wednesday to see the cat and to think about picking it up. And when I got there, Twiggy is a very shy cat and was not very interested in meeting me, and so I didn't think Twiggy would be a very good fit for me. She didn't seem interested in coming home with me, so I looked around at the other cats, and I found another one, 5-month-old male named Khaki, who is younger than I wanted to get, because I'd like to get a cat closer to Inky's age, but Khaki really seemed to like me. He's a very friendly cat. He was climbing up on my shoulders. He followed me around. He really seemed like he wanted to go home with me, so I arranged to pick up Khaki, but I couldn't get him on Wednesday because he still had to get his vaccinations and to be fixed and that kind of stuff, so I was supposed to go back today and get him. But after I left the shelter on Wednesday, on Thursday and Friday, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how I'd gone there to see Twiggy and then left with a different cat, and it didn't really sit well with me, and I don't know, it ate at me for a while. And so on Friday, I made another trip back to the shelter to pick up Twiggy as well. And I ended up picking up Khaki that day too, because the people who worked at the shelter, they're telling me that he had already had his surgery and his vaccinations, and he seemed to be doing well, and he didn't. So they thought he didn't need to be supervised for his recovery, and so this very long rambling story. So on Friday, I picked up 2 cats. I picked up Twiggy and Khaki, and I've been working on bonding with them and introducing them into my house, and it's a very tiring thing, as I want to do it slowly and carefully and properly. And I have enough space, fortunately. I have enough space. So that, like, that's not an issue. Oh, no. This is 2 attempts lost on the first stage. But I got my story out of the way. My very poorly told rambling story, so now I won't be as distracted as much. But already, it's been very good, because like I said, Khaki, very friendly, very enthusiastic about me, wanted to come home with me right away. Like, he's been fine. It's just an issue of sort of time spent with him. And Twiggy, even Twiggy's already warmed up to me quite a bit. At first, when I first let her out of the carrier in her room, she would just sort of hide under a piece of furniture, and that's pretty much how she spent the whole first day. But now, already just a couple days in, she'll come up to me and let me pet her, and she purrs, and she's still very, very timid, but it seems like she's starting to trust me, so it's very, very good. It's gonna be a long time before I can introduce her to the other cats, though, because she's very, very timid. Khaki, probably tomorrow or the day after, I'll start sort of the first work of introducing him to Inky and getting them okay with each other. I don't think it's a problem. So the thing about the cats from the shelter is they lived with other cats. So I don't really have too many doubts about their ability to get along with other cats. Inky has not lived with another cat for a very long time. I had a dog for a long time. So Inky was used to living with another animal, but it's been a while. Sorry, let me catch up with you here. The 3 Musketeers. Oh, goodness, Jelly. Oh, goodness. I mean, hopefully they'll be like that. Hopefully they'll get along. They'll be the best of friends. Hope you're happy with the new cats. I'm enjoying them. That's awesome. Give them time. Oh, yeah. So, in a couple days, I'm going to start the sort of first work of introducing Khaki and Inky to each other. And probably not this upcoming week, but the week after, like next week, it'll be time to start introducing Twiggy to the other 2. But she's definitely going to need some more. She's definitely going to need some more time. Anderson, hello, welcome to the stream. Great to see you. Sorry I'm late. I've been sort of telling the story of what I've been up to. Basically, long story short, I'd planned to get a new cat, and I ended up getting 2 new cats. And so I've been missing and or distracted from my stream as I have dealt with the joys and the hurdles of introducing new pets into my home. And mostly it's just been an issue spending time with them, of just being in the same room and sort of bonding with them. Letting them figure out they can trust me and that kind of stuff. But because they each have their own room in the house where they're sort of, quarantined off from one another. Like, that's sort of the thing, like, why it's been eating at my rest is because I've been sleeping on the floor. I've been sleeping on the floor in these other rooms with the cats to keep them company, and it's not comfortable or conductive to a good night's sleep. But there was a lot of work to adopt them both. It was more than I expected, especially again since the shelter is a bit of a drive away. It's not the shelter in the town where I live. It's a few counties over. Okay. You just got off at midnight. So you can sympathize with me, Derek. You must be pretty tired too. Frownie the crazy cat man. It must be genetic. A love of cats must be genetic, because my sister and her husband, they have 4 or 5 cats. I know they had 2, and then they just got 2 kittens a couple months ago. I think my parents said they're up to 5 cats, but I don't know about the 5th one. Oh no. Oh, this is over. Given how terrible the axe is, I think a death is the best thing that could have happened to me there. That's rough. I imagine that's in reference to me saying I was sleeping on the floor. It's not a great time. I'm not super comfortable sleeping on the floor. Sometimes I see stray cats in my neighborhood. I hate that. 5 cats. Yeah, I think they've got a pretty big house. I was doing well. I mean, it was going okay. We haven't lost that much progress. It's all right. I'm coming back to life. We're gonna get there. Oh, thank you for the magic beans, Derek. All right, let's do that. This will surely wake me up. So we've got 3 beans left. We've got vomit, dishwater, and stink bug. If they're bad, if they're good, well, let's just see. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this bean is peach or vomit. It's almost certainly vomit. The peach is so rare, but only one way to find out. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Oh, I wasn't ready for it. Oh, I knew what it was going to be, and I wasn't ready for it. Oh. All right, we can do this. Okay. Well. Now the night has begun. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy that was the last vomit bean. Thank you for the pistachios, Jelly. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Let's try this again. Oh my. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have a good run now. After that, now we've got that near-death experience out of the way. Now that I'm done rambling and I'm fully awake again, We're gonna have a good run. I don't know about fully awake, but definitely more awake than I was a moment ago. The stream was off to a rocky start, but now we're getting in gear. True Chaos, welcome to the stream. Great to see you. One of the original Dark Souls. I still haven't played any of the Dark Souls games. I've got the first one on Switch. It's on my to-do list. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. As is tradition, my sister got a birthday cake at home waiting for me. Well, it's her birthday cake. I was about to tell you happy birthday. Dark Souls is fun and aggravating at the same time. like so many of the games I play. Whoa. Yuck. I really want the knife. Which should be a surprise to no one. I was about to attack that little bird with the lightning magic. I remembered at the very last second that the lightning magic is not strong enough to destroy the little bird. Your birthday's in October. Mine's not until February. Mine's a ways off. The bow again? Come on. Offer me something different, please. Dark Souls is amazing for lore, but I hate playing it. I expect, from everything I've heard about it, I expect I'll like it a lot. Just a heads up for anyone who may be dropping in on us, if you're not familiar with this game, the second half of this level here is full of sudden, bright, flashing lights. So if you're sensitive to that, you may want to watch very cautiously. Alright, there's the knife. Step 1, get the knife. Step 2, don't lose the knife. And hopefully don't lose my magic either. Oop. Let me see. It's a cool game, just not my kind of game, you know. I'm going to be back soon. Home, so I got to switch to the laptop and get my PJs on. Right on, Derek. We'll see you again shortly. And yeah, I get that. I was trying to think of an example of a game that I know is a good game, but it's just kind of not for me. It's hard for me to think of one offhand. I know they exist. It's just nothing's coming to mind at the moment. Tekken is another example. Yeah, so that's sort of a thing. I'm not really into fighting games, so that could have kind of applied to the fighting genre as a whole for me. Like, I can get why people like them, especially people who like sort of competitive games, but never been something that I've been into. Mega Man? Yeah, Mega Man was a good example for a while. I've warmed up to Mega Man a lot, though. But yeah, that was true for a long time. I never got into Mega... It took me a long time to get into Mega Man. I never really liked it as a kid. Mega Man has grown on me considerably. I don't think I could have played through as many Mega Man games as I have. if the series hadn't grown on me. I've beaten 5 Mega Man games, 3 of them on stream. And we're gonna do more. We're gonna do more Mega Man. We'll chip away. We'll do the whole series eventually, but you know, a little at a time, very slowly, as with everything. Mega Man is goated. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the difficulty or that combined with the aesthetic. When I was a kid, I never owned any of the Mega Man games, but I rented several of them. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I know I rented several Mega Man games, and I just never got into them. I never made any progress. I don't know if they were too hard for me or what it was. I think it was probably a combination of they are pretty tough games and just sort of sci-fi and robots and that kind of theming doesn't really appeal to me so much. So, like, I had this game as a kid. I mean, by this time, I had already... when this game came out, I was already a little older. And it already sort of formed my opinions not in favor of the Mega Man series. But I did have this game as a kid, and this game is terribly difficult, and I still liked it, so I don't know. But the theming of this game, sort of the fantasy and horror mashup that you get, appeals to me a lot more than a sci-fi theme. So that's probably why. That's probably why I put up with this game and gave up on Mega Man. Is just a matter of liking the aesthetic of it so much. Clear-cut linear goal. Oh, is that what I liked about this? I don't know, because yeah, I mean, I don't think the level select in Mega Man bothered me. Again, like, I would have tried the Mega Man games, because I would have tried the NES ones. And so I would have tried them at a younger age, and so they would have been a lot harder for me. You know, when I was a very little kid, I didn't exactly want to play games that grind my bones to powder like I do now. My love of terribly difficult my love of terribly difficult games has come to me as an adult. Again, this was a childhood game for me, but this was a game I liked despite its difficulty, not because of it. You grew up with these games as well. Yeah, I didn't. This was the only one in the series that I had as a kid. My cousin had Ghosts and Goblins, and I remember that I really liked the idea of Ghosts and Goblins. But anytime we would play it, we never made it. We never made it out of the second level. Hello, Ozzy. Welcome to the stream. It's been a while. It's good to see you again. You had Ghosts and Goblins too, but not this one. Yeah, my cousin had Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, and I never got that one, but I would play it with him a lot. But we never got good at it, and we never got very far. Then this game came out, and my cousin got this game, and I think it was right around the time that it was new. He got it, and I came over to his house, and I spent the night with him, and we stayed up all night playing it. And I don't recall us getting very far in it, but we stayed up all night playing it, and then my dad came to pick me up, and I don't remember him playing the game, but either he was very impressed by it, or he was very struck by how impressed I was with it. Because after he picked me up on our drive home, he stopped randomly at the store and went inside and secretly bought this game for me and gave it to me when we got home. And that was a crazy random thing to happen because my parents didn't have a ton of money when I was growing up, and I very, very rarely got a game unless it was, like Christmas or my birthday or something. And so for my dad to randomly stop and buy a game for me was just sort of unheard of. So it was really an amazing day for me. That's probably a big part of why I like this game so much. How you doing? I'm doing well. I'm a bit tired. I was rambling at the start of the stream. I'm pretty tired. I've gotten on Friday I got 2 new cats at the same time, and I already have a cat, so I'm up to 3 all of a sudden. And they've been taking up a lot of my time and sleep. No. Oh, things are going so well. I was really set up for success there too. And now it's all gone. This is Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This is the 3rd game in the series. Instead of giving the series titles with numbers in them, Capcom decided to title all of the games just slight variations of the same thing. There's Ghosts and Goblins, and then secondly is Ghouls and Ghosts, and then the 3rd one is Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Capcom be weird sometimes. That they do. If you're just joining us, the reason we're back at the start is because I've beaten this game several times. I'm despite the lack of skill that I'm demonstrating tonight, I'm pretty decent at it. So I'm trying to do a deathless run. So every time I die means a reset. I'm gonna pick that back up. And there's hope. I've gotten really close. I've made it to the end of the second loop twice. I just haven't been able to bring it all the way home. I'm amazed that jump worked. That looks way too high to be able to make. I never jump up over here at the end of the platform. I always jump up in the middle over there. And sometimes I don't make it, even though it's lower over there. So again, it's very weird that that worked. Whoa. Not interested in the bow at all. Leave it behind. Oh no, my shield took a piece of damage. I think the shield doesn't get iframes. When you use your magic, you get iframes, but I don't think your shield does. Because my shield has always taken weird hits from projectiles like that, and I don't think I've ever put 2 and 2 together until now. I don't think the shield gets iframes. Which I guess makes sense, because the shield doesn't really operate like a piece of our character. I mean, it operates like something attached to Arthur. So, that would kind of make sense. Oh, so what does the shield do? Oh, no, oh no! Oh no, I got distracted. Oh, I need to pay more attention to that. I swear I'm decent at this game. I have displayed no evidence of being decent at this game. I swear it's true. So what does the shield do? The shield will absorb an enemy projectile for you. So it gives you an extra hit, but it's only a hit that comes in at a very specific part of your sprite from a very specific direction. The red shield can absorb one hit. It shatters when it gets hit once. The blue shield can absorb 2 hits. And depending on your level of shield, 0 being no shield, 1 being red shield, and 2 being blue shield, depending on your level of shield, your magic charges faster. So you want to pick up the blue shield, and you want to keep the blue shield. Thank you, Anderson. Thank you so much. I can vouch he is decent. I don't know everything about these games. I'm especially foggy on so Ghosts and Goblins I've beaten. The first Ghosts and Goblins I've beaten several times. This one I've beaten several times. Ghouls and Ghosts, the one in between, I think I've beaten twice. Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins I've never really played. And Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, the newest one that just came out earlier this year, I've completed 1 loop. Once I've got the gold armor, the blue shield, and the knife, I've got everything that I need, everything that I want. There's no point to open another chest or anything like that. I keep doing it because, just out of habit, I want to spawn and open all the chests. Another bad habit I have is to always go out of my way for money bags. Or, almost always go out of my way for money bags. If I'm trying for deathless, the money bags are pointless because they only serve to give me extra credits. Welcome back, Derek. Can't remember what you were playing when I first came here. I couldn't tell you. I juggle a whole lot of games. Double Dragon. I beat Double Dragon last week. I finally beat it. I played that game. I probably put 10 hours into that game before I finally made it all the way through. It was E.T. for you? Oh no. What a game, huh? I've got to play E.T. again too because I still haven't beaten it. I'm defining beating E.T. as successfully completing one loop. And I made it very close, but it didn't happen. I've played E.T. for about 4 hours now. I played it on stream twice for 2 hours each, roughly. And might have been a little less or a little more. Probably a little less one time and a little more the other. I've come really close. Like, I think 3 times I've come close to completing a loop in ET, but I haven't been able to pull it off. Oh, so that means I gotta play it again. I've gotta play it again. And, it was Contra. I haven't played Contra on the same night I beat Double Dragon. So maybe that's why Double Dragon was on your mind, because it was probably in the title. And Contra is a good time. I'm gonna play that again sometime, because I think I can do a 1-credit clear on Contra. Not right away, but if I practice up a little bit, I think I can get it pretty quickly with just a little bit of practice. For whatever reason, Contra felt like Contra came really naturally to me. It's rare that I pick up a new game like that and beat it in the first session. What is Ghoul Patrol? Yeah, Ghoul Patrol is a sort of a sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It wasn't. From what I understand, it wasn't supposed to be related to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. They kind of did that retroactively. Like it was developed as its own thing, and then somewhere along the line, they're like, oh no, make it a sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and so they did. I hear it's not very good, though. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is really good. I hear Ghoul Patrol is pretty mediocre. I could be wrong. This is just what I've heard. Oh, it's not as good, but still fun. Yep, that's what I've heard. My uncle used to do it all the time. 1-credit clear. Nice. RMD 412. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. No. Oh, man. That's alright. We're still alive. We're still alive. It's easy to get your armor back in stage 3. Nothing to worry about. You could tell it wasn't meant to be a sequel. Yeah, I haven't actually played it myself. I'm just going on hearsay. And you're welcome. Thanks again. I don't need to open that. The chests in this game behave in a semi-predictable way. There's a pattern that they're supposed to follow that determines whether or not they give you weapons, armor, or obstacles. The pattern changes depending on a couple different factors, mostly influenced by how recently you've taken damage. But there are a few curveballs, because there's some chests that don't really follow the pattern. And there are sometimes when the game just does things it's not supposed to be able to do. I watched a speedrunner once who, he was playing the game, and he opened a chest that was supposed to be armor, and he just walked through it, like, assuming it would be what it was supposed to be, and instead it was a weapon. And put him in a really bad situation, but he said in response to it, he said, "That weapon drop is impossible. I can prove it." And I felt his pain. Oop. Oh my. If you ever do it on OG hardware, it's more rare and pricey. That's what I'd expect. I don't own Ghoul Patrol, so I don't expect I'll be playing it anytime soon. I've played Zombies Ate My Neighbors on stream once. I made it about 20 levels in. I'll be playing it again sometime. Ideally, I'd like to play it all the way through and beat it, but the thing about that game is you kind of have to play it all the way through to beat it. It's very, very difficult to beat that game if you use a password and start up late in the game. It's very difficult to beat the game anyway, because it's a super hard game. But without a sort of healthy stockpile of weapons and items that you can only build up by playing through a whole lot of levels, the end game is really, really tough. You need it on the Switch for $15. I think I'm gonna focus on beating the first game first before I'm gonna worry about Ghoul Patrol. If I make it through Zombies Ate My Neighbors, if I make it through Zombies Ate My Neighbors and the Switch is still a current system, then I will I'll think about it. But one thing at a time. Fester's Quest win. I don't think I own Fester's Quest. I'm pretty sure I do not. So that's another one. That's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't think I own any Addams Family games. I don't think any of them are supposed to be worth playing, so... I only play games I own physically. I don't really have anything against emulation. It's just kind of not for me. I like the nostalgia and the feel of the old hardware. Too much to give that up. And also, I happen to have a pretty extensive retro game collection, so I feel like before I bother messing with emulation, I should probably work my way through all the stuff all the stuff I own. And that kind of puts me in a situation of, like, I have a tremendous backlog. And, you know, because I have the collecting bug, I'm unfortunately, from time to time, adding items to the endless backlog that I already can't manage. You like the Addams Family on the SNES? I've never, I don't think I've ever played it. I don't think I've ever played, like, don't think I've ever played Fester's Quest, even. So, I'm not speaking from experience, I just don't recall having heard anything good about any of them. Rickroll 500, hello. And welcome to the stream, and thank you very much for the follow. Ooh. Oh, I timed that very poorly. Thank goodness. I didn't get punished for it. I should have been. Okay, let's see if it doesn't look like it's active. Great. That flower right there, the flower I just killed, one of the worst enemies in the whole game. That specific one. It can easily destroy a very good run. Whoa, speaking of destroying a good run, did you see that jump? That was terrible. Alright, let me see. Here lies Agent Frownie. He lived to 192. Legend says that it was because he has to complete all games in his collection, and as soon as he did, he passed on. Oh, man. Oh, that's great. Ah. That one ice snake got really close to me. I hope you've seen the Addams Family movies. I've seen 2 of them. Addams Family and Addams Family Values. The 2 that have the same cast. I've seen. I think I have a copy of the 3rd one, the one with Tim Curry. I think I own it, but I don't think I've ever watched it. Can't die until you beat them all. I don't feel good. I need to go live a good life. It's been a while since I've seen them, but I recall thinking that they were pretty good. The Tim Curry one was not good, sadly. That seems to be consistent with what I believe I've heard. Master Tuesday, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the magic bean. I'll get to it here. Let me just take care of this boss real quick. He's not much to worry about. Oh no. Might actually have to turn the magic beans off in a moment because I've only got 2 left. This one is marshmallow or stink bug. I've already had 1 bad bean tonight. So let's see. The one I had earlier was the vomit bean. Stink bug isn't as bad as that. So even if it's a bad bean, it'll be somewhat less traumatic. Oh, it's bad. I can tell from right away. Oh. Oh, I could smell it instantly. I knew it was going to be bad before I could even taste it. Oh. Oh. Ooh. I don't like it. Not one bit. It was only on TV and then VHS, no DVD or anything else. Maybe that's why I haven't watched it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I have a. I'm pretty sure I have a copy, so it must be a VHS if I do. I could be wrong. I could have gotten rid of it. Or I could have never owned it to begin with. It's been a while since... It's been a very long time since I've watched anything on tape. There's a new Addams Family movie coming out in October. It's animated now. I knew that they did an animated one like a year or two ago. Someone has it on YouTube for free. Whoa, that was close. That was way too close. Saw the first animated one. I rented it. It was okay. This one looks a bit better. Yeah, I didn't see it. I don't think I will. I probably won't anytime soon. I recall seeing ads for it. When it comes to fighting these guys, dragons are just the way to go. The original show is really good with John Astin. That's another thing. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of The Addams Family. We did it. We made one loop. We're halfway there. Since we finally got a good run off the ground here. I mean, it could all go bad. I could be killed by the very next enemy. So who knows how long it's gonna last? But I think this is gonna be our last attempt at this game for tonight. So we'll either beat it or tragedy will strike yet again. But either way, we're gonna wrap up SG&G when this run ends. And we'll move on to Donkey Kong Country 2. We're pretty far into DKC 2. It's my first playthrough, so I don't really know how much I have left, but I think my save file says I'm at like 70%. So I'm either in the last world or next to last world. I think next to last world is probably more likely. So we're coming up on the end of that. Probably won't finish it tonight. Especially since, it's my first playthrough. I'm playing it blind and I'm trying to find all the secrets. So it's making progress is kind of slow. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple more levels knocked out. Loop 2 with gold armor. It's such a bad time to open treasure chests. Pretty much the only thing a treasure chest can be right now is either the bracelet weapon, which I don't want to pick up, or a wizard, which I don't want to have to mess with. Zombies Ate My Neighbors has 48 levels, and Ghoul Patrol has 18 levels. What? That's pitiful. The dragon's not powerful enough to kill the little bird either. I don't think I ever noticed that. Oh, don't use magic. Don't use magic on the little birds. It's much too risky. if we make it really, really far into Loop 2, I may go ahead and beat this game just for the extra practice, but we'll see. That's assuming I can. The last time I tried to do that, I was so irritated from having lost a good run that I couldn't even pull it together and finish the game. So we'll see how that goes. So that's nothing to worry about for the time being, though. It could very easily all fall apart here on level 2. You didn't realize it was so short. It's yeah, it just seems very weak to have a sequel that is so much smaller than the game that came before it. Did you type an extra 0 there by accident? I can't believe that number. I saw it on eBay once for 3,000. Whoever listed that auction is nuts. It was 3,000 complete in box, maybe even sealed. Madness. Just madness. I read there's supposed to be a Genesis version and it never happened. Yeah, when you mentioned that it was on the Super Nintendo earlier, that surprised me a little bit because I always think that that's a Genesis game. I don't know why. Oh, come on. Oh. Alright, we're still in this. We're still in this. Zombies Ate My Neighbors was SNES and Genesis. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. And then I don't know why. I always think that Ghoul Patrol is a Genesis game. There's a wire crossed in my brain or something. I didn't realize how rare it is. Yeah, I don't think I knew it was a rare game either. Seems like a lot of not such good games are rare and pricey. Yeah, I'm not really big into I like collecting retro games. Like I like building my collection and preserving it and whatnot, but I don't really have any interest in games that are just like expensive and rare but not good. I don't get it. I tried for the most part to only add games to my collection that I would want to play. There are some exceptions. I've got especially on Nintendo 64, I've got quite a few like sports and wrestling games on the Nintendo 64. And realistically, not very likely to play them. It's just not my kind of thing. There was a brief window of time where I thought maybe I would build a complete collection of the Nintendo 64 library. So I've got a lot of games that I normally wouldn't buy, just because I was able to get them for cheap, and I was kind of thinking that I was going to go for that. But I have since decided against it, and now I just have a bunch of games in my Nintendo 64 library that are not really to my taste. I had a couple games like that in all of my libraries. Like, I got some Super Nintendo games, some NES games that I found cheap, or they came with another game or something like that. And so they sit in my collection even though I'm unlikely to play them. But in general, I try to avoid buying those types of games. And if they're like super expensive just because they're rare, definitely not going to go out of my way for them. Not something I'm interested in. You can get a one-cycle kill on this guy with the dragon magic. I think you have to shoot it in the other direction. I've never, I don't believe I've ever pulled it off myself. But I'm never doing it right for one, though, so. I know some games have gone up since everything's going up. Yep, retro games are only going to go up. The price of retro games is never going to go down. N64 is a smaller library. That's part of why I thought that might be one that I would complete. Is yes, it has a comparatively small library. I don't know exactly how big the library is. I think it's fewer than 400 games. And I think I had around 180 Nintendo 64 games at one point. Maybe not that high. That might be a little high. But somewhere in that ballpark. I think I got pretty close to half the library. I've unloaded I've unloaded a portion of my Nintendo 64 library. A huge chunk of the sports games that I owned on the N64 library I got rid of a couple years ago. If I were going to do a complete library nowadays, it would have to be the Virtual Boy. I know some of the Virtual Boy games are super rare and super expensive. But there's so few of them, I think I could pull it off. I think there's only 16 games in the library. And I already own 6, so, you know, I'm like a third of the way there. Somebody's posted Ghoul Patrol for $4,200 complete. Thought I heard this flower over here coming to life. I don't know what that sound effect was. But I'm really glad I was wrong. I'm gonna fight this guy super cautiously and just throw a bunch of dragons at him. Some of the levels are just boss fights, so it's more like 13 levels. It just gets worse and worse. I got lucky there. I got really lucky there. That would have been run destroying. At this point in the game, pretty much any piece of damage that I take is gonna basically kill the run. I've got to get to the next level with my gold armor intact, or things are gonna be really hard. Sloppy. What a sloppy fight. As a sequel, it's very much a letdown. I'd say. I imagine so. I really liked Zombies Ate My Neighbors when I was a kid. I imagine if I had gotten a copy of Ghoul Patrol, I would have been very upset. Wow, this guy is evading my dragons masterfully. Alright, here we go. Loop 2, last stage. I've made it here twice before. And had things go wrong, so I'm gonna try and be extra focused. I might not read the chat very much for a few minutes. Just a heads up. So the last 2 times I made it this far, I died. The first time I died because I had the crossbow and it betrayed me for like. It had me fighting the Red Devil for like 20 minutes without aiming at him, and I ran out of time when I finally got to the boss. Terrible, terrible way to go. And then the second time, I was just too busy running my mouth and wasn't paying attention, and I forgot to pick up the bracelet, and then I lost a whole lot of time going back for the bracelet. And when I got to the boss again, like I was really low on time, and so I was in panic mode, and I fought too risky and got myself killed. So here we go, for all the marbles. Let's see how it goes. Winning this fight on my first pass through is... I've done it before, but... It's not super likely. Ideally, I'd like to beat this guy before the 2-minute mark. But I'm gonna... Like, I'm playing it super cautious, so I don't know. I don't know. No. Ah. Okay, again, super cautious. We've got a bit of time. Where's your big ice beam? What are you doing, man? This guy's got so much health. Okay, time is getting really low now. I'm starting to get very nervous. Hey, we did it. All right, that's it. We beat the game. That's it. All right, deathless run complete. I'm talking real big. This guy could embarrass me very hard. In case you've never watched me play this before, I always say that when we beat the previous boss. I always say, "All right, that's it. We beat the game," because this guy's not a boss fight. This guy's a victory lap. I mean, there's always the chance that something could go really wrong and he could embarrass me, but it's not super likely. I hope I'm not mistaken. I hope I didn't die and just forget about it somewhere. I'm feeling like I'm so sleepy tonight. I'm really out of it. What does it say about me that I grinded this deathless run? Yes, I grinded this deathless run for weeks. And on the night where I'm so tired I'm barely functional, it's the night I finally do it. That's it, we did it. Super Ghouls and Ghosts deathless complete. I could retire it. Now that does not mean this game will not be appearing on my streams going forward. I'm still gonna play it a lot because, as I said, this is my favorite game. But oh man, it feels so good to finally have that out of the way. We get to beat it with our gold armor, looking like a stud. It doesn't get much better than that. And thank you for the magic beans, Derek. I don't have to mix it up because this is my last one. So let's do it. Let's have a bean. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have mentioned the options before I ate it. This one is supposed to be birthday cake or dishwater. And it's dishwater. It tastes exactly like an old sponge smells. Ooh. I have such mixed emotions right now. I was hoping it would be a good bean. Unfortunately for me, it is not. But that's all right. It's gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be pretty hard to dampen my spirits right now. I'm feeling pretty good. Oh. Okay, I gotta turn the magic beans off for now. We should have some more tomorrow, but I don't have any more with me for tonight. Man. What? How is tonight? How is tonight the night that I finally pull off the challenge? Oh, and it didn't stop my timer. Guess it doesn't really matter. What did I beat it in right around an hour? That's not bad. A little over. So if you saw the schedule in the Discord, I have super ghouls and ghosts on the schedule for almost every night this week. Now that we've since we beat it deathless on the first night this week, all those ghouls and ghosts, though, they're gonna be replaced with something else. Probably the original Castlevania. I feel like I want to do a whole bunch of runs of that game and get it practiced up really well. If I do a 1 credit clear, then I might start going for deathless in that game too. I'd like to eventually do a deathless run of the original Castlevania and a deathless run of Contra. But both of those are going to take a lot of practice, especially because Contra I've only played 1 time, and I'm already like planning to do a deathless run of it. Sometimes I really wonder what people are thinking. When they put something on eBay. Who knows? Who knows? eBay is like the Wild West. Just anything goes on eBay. Good luck, those are rough. Oh yeah, I don't expect either of them to be easy. But I mean, this wasn't easy. But we eventually did it. So, Contra has, I think, 8 levels. And I made it through, I think I made it through 6 levels on 1 life. So I'm already, I've already gotten 75% of the way to a deathless run. The last 25% though is by far the hardest. So I'm not saying I'm close, but there's a glimmer of hope. Castlevania, I'm nowhere close to a deathless run. I die all the time in Castlevania. Alright, so I'm going to let the credits continue to play. I'm going to step away from the computer for just a moment, take sort of a short kind of mini BRB while these finish up, and I'll be right back with you again, my friends, and we will switch over to Donkey Kong Country 2. We'll play a little bit of that. And that's probably going to be the way we finish out the night, is with Donkey Kong. We'll play an hour or 2 of that, and then we'll wrap the stream up. It'll be a little bit of a shorter stream than usual. So thank you very much for coming along on the adventure with me. Thanks for putting up with my incredibly sleepy brain. And if you want to hang around, there's a little bit more stream coming up.